You couldn't buy milk in India because everyone was doing this. It was just unbelievable. London shut down. The line was miles long of people wanting to get into the temples and see the statues. It was really an amazing, unexplained event. I think it was unexplained. There are others. There's a building in Clearwater, Florida called the Seminole Finance Building. It's a 4-story tall building, all glass. And about 3 days before Christmas, I think it was 3 years ago, it might have been 4 years ago, I think it was 3. About 2 or 3 days before Christmas, people were driving by, coming to work and so on, and boom, in the front of this building, in Technicolor, vivid color, an image of the Madonna, Mary, on the front of this building, 4 stories tall. Nobody could explain where it came from. It was unmistakable what this image was. It was clear as a bell. Traffic was backed up for 7 miles, people trying to get in and see this. And it was just unbelievable. Yet everybody was calm and quiet, and it is there to this day. Nobody can explain it. Somebody threw some acid on it, and it rained the next day and washed itself off, and it's just fine.
And it's still there, huh?
It's still there. The owner of the building has set aside as fenced-off part of the parking lot and put in benches for meditation for people to come.
Oh, that's nice.
You can even see it at night. It's been on ABC, CNN, it's been on all the news. Nobody can explain where this came from right before Christmas.
And it's there in the evening, so it can't be a reflection of the sun.
No. It's still there.
Well, the interesting thing in our world of technology today is that we have the idea that we must be able to explain everything.
Yes.
And you see, this is, you were referring to the media, this is what's happened with our media. They take an abstract idea that they cannot explain, and then they will say, like you were saying, that the porous stone absorb the milk.
Yes.
You see, this is a great example of your intellect turning around and biting you in the butt. Because you can analyze anything and everything away. You can analyze all your faith away.
And the problem is the media go to the churches, and the churches won't confirm or deny it because they don't want to get in trouble. And if they can't get anybody to confirm or deny it, they're not going to show it on the air.
Exactly.
It's that simple. So it just doesn't make the airwaves.
That's right.
It just doesn't.
That's right.
And so there are all of these things happening in our world behind the scenes, but if you look, if you pay attention, they're there. The question is, are they all coincidence?
Oh, I don't believe there is such a thing as coincidence. I don't think there is such a thing.
I don't either.
At all.
I agree with Benjamin Creme, who by the way, I've met with Benjamin Creme several times. I've actually interviewed Benjamin Creme. He's a very, very calm, not a fanatical guy at all. Very convinced, very convincing, and just a very, very nice, delightful man. And I agree with him. I have the conviction that he has that these are signs.
Absolutely.
That they're signs that a big change is on the way for humanity, and that there is hope. That God is telling us that He has not abandoned us. That God is telling us that there is hope and there are changes coming. And I believe that one of those changes coming is that it's time for a great teacher to come. And about every 2,500 years, we have a great teacher in this world. If you look historically,
Yes, we do.
over the years, all the way back to Hermes and Hercules, and all the way through to Confucius and Buddha and so on, Jesus, these great teachers have come. And you were going to ask, you had asked me about the millennium, and I want to say that I don't think the millennium is the big deal. I think the new age is the big deal. Now, I'm not a new ager, okay? But if people studied astronomy, not astrology, astronomy, they would see that our solar system and our sun doesn't sit still in our galaxy. It moves through the heavens in a circular orbit. And it takes about 25,000 years to complete that orbit. And as it goes through that orbit, it comes closer to each of 12 constellations in its circle. And those constellations we call the zodiac. And as we come close to one of those constellations, each constellation has its own energy, has its own influence on not just the solar system, but on our planet Earth. We say that we are in the age of whatever that constellation is. For the last 2,500 years, we have been in the age of Pisces. We have been near Pisces. the great teacher Jesus came to inaugurate the age of Pisces.
That's right.
Right.
The symbol for Pisces
Was
is
the
the
fish.
fish. It is no accident that
No.
the symbol for Christianity is the fish.
Exactly.
He
Ichthus.
chose fishermen. He fed the crowd with fish.
Yep.
Right.
There are all of these fish symbols in the Bible, and that's because we're in the age of Pisces. And two of the strong aspects of Pisces are individuality. Man has come out of the herd over the
Yes.
last 2,000
Yes.
years, the me generation.
Right.
And we have become an individuals. And the other one is a dedication to an ideal. Now, usually we're dedicated to our own ideals, so
Yes.
it causes separation. But it is a direction humanity needed to go into, and those are two of the strong influences of Pisces. There's a little vignette in the Christian Bible in the New Testament where Jesus forecasts the return of Christ. And that little vignette is a very subtle one, but I'd like to mention it, and that is he sends his disciples into town, and he says, look for a man carrying a pot of water.
Yes.
Right.
That's the symbol
That's
for
the-
what?
That's for the
Aquarius.
symbol for Aquarius.
Of course.
The next age. We are now leaving the influence of Pisces, and the Earth is moving into the influence and the proximity of the constellation of Aquarius. In that little vignette, he foretold when he would be back, I believe.
Yeah.
And very unusual for a man carrying a pot of water in
Men
those days,
didn't
because
do
women
that.
carried all the
Women
water.
carried water.
And
right.
they found the man with the pot of water, and they inquired within, and they found the upper room, and that's where they had
Right.
the Last Supper. And so, in that little vignette, he talked about when he would return, I believe. And I believe that it's an interesting time, because all of the world's major religions are expecting their great teacher about this time. They say the signs are there. For example, the Jewish rabbis and teachers say that most of the signs are there for the Messiah to appear.
Exactly.
But
The Buddhists,
they didn't agree that Jesus was their Messiah
No,
at that
not at all.
time.
No, but
Not at
they
all.
are preparing. I have spent
They've
some time in
always been
Israel.
that.
They are preparing in Israel today. There are schools in Israel today training the priest for even the red heifer, the blood sacrifice. I mean, this is
red
where
heifer
they're.
has come.
Yes, yes.
The red heifer has been here, and they have passed all the tests of the prophecies, and the red heifer that the Jews have been expecting for thousands of years is now here. It's the seventh red heifer,
Okay, hold it.
which is a sign the Messiah is about to come.
For our audience, would
Yes.
you two please explain the red heifer?
It was a prophecy. An
Okay.
ancient Jewish prophecy said that the seventh red heifer, and then it went into this long description of how this red cow would look. And this cow was born, and I actually have seen a picture of it. It was in a Newsweek magazine, as a matter of fact. There was an article about it. And it fulfills all the prophecies of the ancient Jewish prophecy that says that, and when it comes, it says a great teacher, probably the Messiah, is about to appear. The Buddhists are expecting the fifth Buddha. The Hindus are expecting the return of Krishna. The Muslims are either looking, depending on the sect, they're either looking for the Imam Mahdi or the Messiah. So
Right.
all of the world's, the Christians are looking for Christ, and the Jews are looking for the Messiah. So all of the world's major religions are looking for their great teacher at about this time, and I believe that teacher will be all wrapped into one.
Oh, I
And
think you're
that
probably
teacher,
right.
these are signs that that teacher is about to come.
Now,
Let-
the question is,
Go ahead.
when he does, he, she, it, whatever
Yes.
comes, will it be recognized?
Good question.
Of course, television.
Most people are looking. Most people are worried about the Antichrist right now.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Krem has said something that makes all the sense in the world to me. He has said that we don't have to worry about that because the Antichrist has come and gone.
Oh.
He has said that the Antichrist is actually an energy released into the world to break down the old order, and it was released originally through Nero, which if you read Revelation, the first part of Revelation and the torment was about Nero. The beast 666, if you look at any good Bible, they'll have a footnote that says, numerology was very big then.
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah.
It
was.
says that 666 is the total of the numbers represented in the letters that make up the name Caesar Nero. He was the beast 666. And it was released then and to break down the old Roman dispensation, the old Roman order, and pave the way for Christianity and Christendom.